Charging for the finish line into the world's most spectacular harbour, and skipper Andy Forbes wanted this victory more than anything else. As they crossed the line, he achieved his lifetime ambition. So an amazing victory for the BG crew, and what could be better for Australian skipper Andy Forbes? First into his home port, and he's notched up his first leg win.
It means everything to me to win this leg. I said it to the skippers back in the selections 18 months ago. I said there's one thing I'd love to do in this race, and that was win the Sydney leg. And my God, we did it.
Unreal. Worked so hard for it. Every person in this crew's just given 100% everything they've got, and I think we thoroughly deserve that first place.
This result pushes BG up the leaderboard to first overall, so they have everything to celebrate. But while they enjoy the champagne, the battle for second place out on the water was between SAIC and our local team Me2U. But as they fought their way through the massive boats on Sydney Harbour, the Hampshire skipper had to settle for third.
It's been very, very stressful, really full on the whole way. The crew have been absolutely fantastic. They've worked really, really hard for this. They really do deserve the result. Thank you very much.
This sudden improvement in performance could have been down to the fact the founder of the company was on board for the leg. But the man who created the infamous Tatty Teddy said for him this had been one of his toughest weeks.
This has been a real challenge for me, and it's been an experience I'll never forget. But it just really makes me appreciate what these guys are going to do in this side of the nation. You know, what I've done is a piece of cake, and I feel absolutely exhausted. So how they do it, I don't know. Here's to them.
The battle for fourth place was unbelievably close. BP and Pindar separated by just 2 minutes, but it was Pindar who won the battle. On board was Graham Thompson from Hampshire, who's marrying his girlfriend Laura here in Sydney. But she just happens to be on BP, so now he's beaten her over the line. Is she happy to still walk down the aisle?
Yeah, because if you look at the points overall, I think we're still ahead of them, so yeah, just this once.
Is the race going out of your mind now? Now you've hit the dock, focus on the wedding?
Yeah, I think it will do by this evening. A few more beers and then wait for the other boats to come in. Hopefully the whole fleet will be in this evening. Have a bit of a party, and then tomorrow I have to go around, make sure everything's all organised for the wedding, and then the wedding's on Friday.
They now have 4 days to organise their wedding. Luckily for them, the leg didn't take any longer. Otherwise, they'd be walking down the aisle in their sailing clothes. But there's no doubt this race changes people's priorities. Prior to stepping aboard Samsung, Phil Avery was a TV weatherman, determined to win. But as they arrived in 6th place, he was pretty philosophical about the fact they've dropped from first to third overall.
First overall was a real sort of fluke in our eyes anyway. And even on this leg, when the news came through that we were first for a time, everybody, instead of going, yeah, of course, we're the best, we all went, you're joking. You know, that is the attitude of this crew. Those
finishing in the bottom half of the fleet were slightly less upbeat. After 7 days of racing, they had little to show for their effort. But they were still celebrating as they hit the dock. Spirit of Sark in 7th place. They were followed over a minute later by Stelmar in 8th. Barclays took 9th, a slightly disappointing result for them, and Via arrived in 10th place. This means for Winchester's Paul Kelly aboard Save the Children, this was another poor result. 11th was difficult to swallow.
Pretty disappointed actually. We were doing so well until 48 hours ago. We're up there, you know, we overtook BG 2 days ago. Unfortunately, wind took us north. Nothing we could do about it. Got stuck in a hole. That was it. Game over.
Yeah, it's pretty frustrating, but you know, there's more to life than a leaderboard. You know, we've sailed halfway around the world. We're in Sydney. We've come all the way from Portsmouth with nothing but wind. That's an important thing to remember.
12 hours after the first boat arrived, Imagine It Done finally arrived in Sydney Harbour, now last in the past 2 legs. But with all the other boats in, you can always guarantee a good reception at least. And it's amazing how quickly a few glasses of champagne can erase the feeling of disappointment. Stacey Paul in Sydney for Meridian Tonight.